We're going.
Okay, cool. So my big question, like if I send you guys those ILM yearbooks, after you scan and document them, could I get them back?
That's not necessarily standard practice, but if that's something that you would like, yeah, we can make that work. We can make that part of the donation agreement. We did that with D&E images. We scanned the whole thing. I'd have to look into cost because we'd probably want to do it in TIFF files, but we could make that happen.
There are people who would be willing to say, yeah, this should be archived, but I don't want to part with it. It's, you know, I want to pass this down to my kids. So
yeah, of course.
But it has to be specified which things will be returned. There's also crew photographs. You can see every one of those is a crew photo from having worked on a particular movie. You know, The Island, there's Twister and Mummy Returns. So what if I take my own, you know, good quality photographs of these things and send you photographs of things?
It's not necessarily standard practice, but we've done it before. It's something that we're talking about more and more as a department, especially for departments who have collections that have a huge amount of memorabilia with them. So we have a performing arts archive at the U as well. And so it's an issue for them too. So quite often that's what they do.
It would be silly for me to pack these things up and ship them to you just so you could do a scan and then have to send them back.
I would say if it becomes a significant amount of material that you think would be better off being digitized and then returned, I would almost suggest that it's not worth the shipping costs. You know, maybe we could talk to Mary and Joan, who I know have been working on setting aside money for SIGGRAPH collection shipping to CBI and use it for digitizing.
Right. Okay. So now we're in my basement.
Okay.
And you can see there's boxes galore. Now this filing cabinet, I don't know, do you guys take videos? And this is the Mars movie that I made at NASA in 1987 of the Mars rover, as it was visualized back in 1987. Most of these things exist on YouTube, but some of them are scenes during the making of. Is that something that?
Yes, that is definitely something that we're interested in. In fact, a lot of Joan Collins material is similar to that. It's just a matter of getting it all off of those formats. Yeah, it is on YouTube, sure, but the actual preservation of the pixels themselves is important. And so that's what we would be focusing on. We're interested in access, but preservation is really key, especially with these kinds of materials. For this kind of stuff, what I would ask is an inventory of what formats we have and what's on them. So, you know, if it's film, if it's like a movie, just a standard movie that you know, like we would convert an MP4 file or whatever, that's one thing. But if it's like software, like a computer program, you know, actual data files, that would be a different story because
I know Jeff Clauser has a bunch of those exabyte tapes, right?
Yes, so many. Yes.
I know. I made a number of those when I was working for it.
But yeah, those exabyte tapes do make me a little nervous. We'll figure it out though.
Right. Well, so what I would do, I have VHS, I have 3/4 inch, which is a format from an earlier day in time. If I sent you these tapes, not exabytes, but ones that actually have video on them, I would not need these back as long as I could have access to the videos that you scanned from them.
Yes.
Right? Because the physical medium, I don't care. You know, this will deteriorate anyway. And then there's also film.
Things that we have a lot of familiarity with pulling stuff off of formats is VHS, Betamax, U-matic, 16 millimeter, 9 millimeter, probably 32 millimeter film, and negatives. You know, we have vendors that have access to that kind of stuff.
I also have a number of copies of different magazines. You know, there's old Cinefexes up there. You want those old copies of magazines. It's like 3D World, American Cinematographer, Cinefex, that kind of thing. Is that something you guys archive?
It might be. I think I can make a call if you send me the list of the serials and the titles, and I can compare it with what I have in my collections and also what's available through the university library's catalog.
Because those are pretty commonly available. So I can't imagine there's anything that I have that's unique in those terms. Now, what about these? These are scripts.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Scripts that we used in making the movie. So this is from Mummy 2, and I have Jumanji, I have Jurassic Park, I have lots of scripts. Is that something that you guys would be interested in?
Yes, very, very much so. That's something that I think we'd probably want to just keep rather than digitize, because if we're to digitize it, we would make it accessible. And I don't think that that's something that you necessarily want to be published and made accessible online just right now. I think that that's probably something that you want to make accessible to people in person.
So that would be something that when I'm ready to die or whatever, and I just want to make sure these things go someplace.
Yep.
So you would be interested in those scripts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I'll refer to the Performing Arts collection. One of their collections contains a number of original Star Trek scripts, because wow. I think either one of the actors or one of the crew members is a donor to that collection.
And then there's old SIGGRAPH, course notes. This one right there, computer animation using video techniques.
Yep.
That was my course.
Oh, fun.
I chaired that and put that whole course together. I've got lots and lots of old SIGGRAPH stuff. Call for participation. And this, I also have boxes filled with this kind of stuff as well.
Yep, I imagine.
Are you interested in that old SIGGRAPH stuff?
I mean, yes, that's the kind of stuff that I would say when it comes to professional association material, that is the kind of stuff that I would say just box it and send it to me. Let me know if you're okay with me sifting it out. If as we go through, we realize, okay, there's a lot of duplicates in here. And also, Mary Whitten's given us a whole bunch of the course notes and stuff to minimize duplication across. And if you're cool with that, then that's,
yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I have in boxes that I will never do anything with. So I would just send those boxes,
Yeah. And we'll make the call as they come in.
There's things like when I learned the Bosch FGS 4000, this was all my old notes and notebooks from learning the first computer graphics system. And this is all, I don't know how well you're seeing any of this, but instruction manual for the animation editor.
Yep, that's something we're interested in, especially because it's yours personally, and I'm guessing you wrote there's notes. Oh
yeah.
Yep, that is definitely something we're interested in.
This green notebook here. Let's see. So this is all the notes from Scanimate.
Oh, wow.
Which is the first analog computer animation system. These are all personal handwritten notes. That was the Scanimate Bible for all of us old Scanimate guys, and I am the sole possessor of this one copy of this book.
Wow. Yes, I would like that very much. Very much.
that would be something that I would want to get back.
Okay, but that might be something you want to scan then. And send me
all the scans and just send you the scans.
The electronic records, yeah. Like I said, it's not standard practice where we take in things, scan them, and send them back. And I think most of that is purely just because it's kind of complicated, and I worry about damage and shipping and things like that, and insurance. Right. So I'm happy to take electronic facsimiles of these items, without a doubt.
I also have all these old documents. Actually, this was part of Lee Harrison's personal collection that I kept rather than sending to you, because I just wanted to keep these because I was the guy that used the system that this was the notes that designed it. But I'd be more than happy to scan and send you these things as well. So in here, I mean, I've got all kinds of notes from my time at Industrial Light and Magic. I've got things like original storyboard.
Wow.
I'm making a mess of things just to show you. I've got all the shell scripts from Industrial Light and Magic that we used from 1994 to 2005. Wow. And these are printouts
Yep.
of the actual shell scripts. Is that something that you would want, or?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that is absolutely something that we would. Pretty much everything you've showed me, with the exception of the memorabilia, which I'm in love with, but I can't take, is stuff that I would take both physically or in electronic format.
Okay. What about that?
And it's probably but not the best idea. But should those, I should
Can you believe
reassure
I
you
still
that
have those?
I don't know, but should those end up in a collection, I will tell you that we shred those.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I think in Mark Sylvester's Alias Wavefront collection, there were so many credit card receipts that we had to shred.
Oh, and here's notebooks. Okay, so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Yep. I personally really like that kind of stuff, because I think that for researchers, that is an important insight, especially into the artistic process. And you folks in SIGGRAPH are doing things a little bit different than a lot of our donors who are it's both art and tech. So I love that kind of stuff. And we have a lot of media studies students that are coming in now to use our materials from SIGGRAPH donors.
Cool. I could go box by box by box, and you see I've got a lot of boxes. But I think we've answered a lot of the critical questions.
Yeah, and I'm continuing to think through my response to you about the scan and return stuff. And I would say that if it comes down to the fact that you're not quite ready to let it go, either do the electronic scan of it and send those records to us with the idea that the physical materials will follow at some point. Or if you don't feel like investing the time and the money in the scanning right now, just mark that material as like to eventually pass on to CBI in the future when you are ready. But everything you showed me today is stuff that I would absolutely take.
Okay, well, you've answered a lot of my questions. So you've got a cat in your computer lab.
I know. Oh, Sheldon.
Yeah. Sheldon, really?
You've got some really exciting stuff, Ed. Yeah, I'm jealous of both the room that you're in right now, as well as the room that you showed me. That's
cool.
You
know what I didn't show you? Now, I don't know if you guys are probably not interested. Oh, this is my shoes.
Did you do the Mummy first of all? Can I ask you did the Mummy?
I did the Scarabs.
Shut up. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because there's a librarian in it.
Well, now you're good friends with the guy who supervised the Scarabs from the Mummy.
That's still one of the most terrifying moments when those things. Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. These were also from Lee's collection. That is freaking Bing Crosby standing next to the first computer animation device that Lee Harrison built.
Amazing. That's cool.
That's from 1970. And this is the president of Computer Image with a guy named Tommy Smothers.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Smothers Brothers?
Smothers Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, he was the financial backer of the industry. Now we're going into my closet here, so ignore all my clothes and stuff. But see these bins up here?
Yep.
Those are totally filled with Industrial Light and Magic T-shirts and memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of those is a T-shirt from a movie of some kind of movie. This box right here has a whole lot of Industrial Light and Magic memorabilia that I could possibly photograph for you, but it's things like invitations to company parties and pins that were crew gifts from different movies. And all kinds of stuff like that. Is that stuff that you guys would be interested, or is that just considered my own personal memorabilia?
I think that what we usually do with material like that is anything like if it's all these T-shirts, we would ask that you give us a list of films or whatever, which of them that you may have worked on. We'd photograph those and or we just keep or photograph a representative sample of them. And we would tailor that sample obviously to you and your career and your interests. But the rest, I mean, honestly, I do have donors who say, I just can't bear to throw this away. I don't care what you do with it. If you throw it away, that's fine. I just don't want to be the one to do it.
This was very valuable. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And hopefully it's useful to other folks. I've never actually done an appraisal this way. So it was fun. And I think I'm going to start making this more of a standard practice. My boss was very curious to hear about how this went.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Ed. I'll send this to you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.